right, greetings everybody. It's April the 22nd, the year 2017, and I always like to start off by showing Schaeffer Cox's mailing address and encouraging you guys to mail him a letter and let him know what you think. Be encouraging, ask him any questions. Always encourage you guys to write him a letter directly. You can also send money to his commissary. Whoops, that's the wrong... This right here, that's his mailing address, number 1. Number 2 is if you want to send a money order, you got to mail it to that address right there, Federal Bureau of Prisons. So Schaeffer sent a letter in today, his second letter, and my wife has read it. She's highlighted parts of it. I have not read it, and I don't know what it's about, so we're going to read it together for the first time. He wrote it on the 15th. It's now the 22nd, so he wrote it 7 days ago. Schaeffer Cox, April 15th, 2017. Hi, Rudy. I got your work on the number 18 footnotes to go with the Child Molester Strike Back press release. Impressive. You did a great job proving it all up with documentation so it doesn't look like a far-out fairy tale. What he's talking about is this article here. And actually all the credit goes to a lady by the name of Angela Clemens. She has done a tremendous job in creating this website. If you click on this link here, this is a website, and as you read through this, there's links that you can click on, like Gandhi Not a Rambo, or false flag event, illegal drug trafficking activities. And if you want to click on these links, it'll take you to supporting documentation that proves this entire press release is absolutely true. And so I pray that you guys do go to this website. It is called WhoFramedSchaefferCox.com. And praise God for Angela Clemens and her talented ability to put all this together. All right, one of the biggest challenges we face is that the stuff these secret police get mixed up in is so far beyond bad that normal, healthy, average human beings who aren't total reprobates can't wrap their minds around it. I'm totally in agreement with that. I've often said that these people are so evil that most people cannot wrap their minds around it because they can't comprehend that people are that evil. So I totally understand what Schaeffer's talking about there. It's too much work. It's too much work and it's too uncomfortable, so people just look away. Nobody wants to look their problems in the eye. Nobody wants to admit that the hometown sheriff morphed from enforcing the law to controlling crime, to managing crime, to being the secret police who makes millions running drug and pedophile rings. When you give officials secrecy, they turn into mafia every time. And the few good cops who don't turn into gangsters get their eyes pecked out by the bad cops who do. There's just no incentive or reward for being honest if you're a cop. But the good news is that these politico thugs and cryptocrats have so isolated themselves from the rest of mankind that they will not be able to survive much longer. It's ugly, but it is a self-correcting problem. We don't have to tear it down. It's tearing itself down. We just need to build a good culture based on good ideas and good values so there will be something left standing when it's all over. Anyway, that's still my take on the big picture corruption, and it has been all along. I was timid to go public about the child molester ring back in 2009. It's just so evil and repulsive, but I had no idea at all the kind of pushback I would get from the entire establishment. Guess who owned the Anchorage Daily News at one point? Bill Allen. I just mentioned the drug ring and child molesters once at a town hall in about... Let me read that again. I just mentioned the drug ring and child molesters once at a town hall in about October of 2009 at a door of Hope Church. And the drug task force was on me like chicken on a June bug. Like a chicken on a June bug. I think having the Comos strike back? What's that? Oh, child molesters. I think having the Child Molester Strike Back press release be the front page of the website is a good, because it gives people an overview. Have we found any alternative media who will run the story, or any info warriors who will pick it up and run with it? You know, this question makes me want to cry, because Schaeffer's stuck in prison, and he actually thinks that people like Alex Jones will help him out. You know how many times a lady by the name of Margaret Kahn tried to call Alex Jones and get on the show and break through, like to wait on the phone lines for hours? And when she finally got through and mentioned Schaeffer Cox to Alex Jones, it was a joke. I mean, and Schaeffer's like still operating, like thinking that there's alternative media that are going to run with his story. You know, if anybody wants to take any video that we've ever uploaded for Schaeffer Cox and you want to put it on your channel with a bigger microphone, please do. You know, I consider us kind of like a library. You have to come to our channel to go to the library to look for what you want. But if you want to take something and you want to put it out in a bigger way, please do so. But I'm having a terrible time, you know, finding alternative media. I just, you know, my faith in humanity has gotten so low, it's just sad. But I can understand why Schaeffer's asking that question. It's just the answer is a very sad. I can't find any. But it doesn't mean that there are none. It just means I can't find any. So if you can find some alternative media to promote Schaeffer Cox's story, please do so. Okay, I'm going to go on to read. Page 3. I read all the Bill Fulton lies from his talk with Judy Lee. I kind of mailed him a lot of it. It sounds like he's having a great time spending time with his kids. I wish I could see my kids. Here's how you know Fulton is lying. He says that for 4 hours at Pike's Hotel, I laid out my big evil plans to go murder the government. Then he let the feds listen to the recording he made, and after listening to it, the feds told him to destroy it. He says something about there being a problem because there wasn't a warrant or permission to record or something. But J.R. Olson recorded hundreds of hours without any sort of warrant or anything. There's zero difference between those recordings and Fulton's recordings of Pike's Hotel. The real reason is because it's Fulton pitching the idea of violence while he was drunk. I didn't take the bait, and I was clearly confused, so I politely left. And it was more like 45 minutes, not 4 hours. The fact that the FBI struck out shows that I was not predisposed to violence. This is a key piece of favorable evidence, and once the FBI knew about it, because they listened to the recording, the law required them to preserve that evidence because the defense is entitled to it. Having Fulton destroy it was a crime, and it makes a full and fair trial impossible, which was their goal. Page 4. Also, why didn't they go after Les and Jeremy too if we had all sat around plotting a shootout? For that matter, if what Fulton claims happened at Pike's Hotel was true, they would have just arrested us all in the parking lot that night or in our beds the next morning in a dawn raid. Perhaps most telling of all is that after this Pike's Hotel meeting, Fulton went back to Anchorage and sat down with FBI agent Patrick Westerhouse and asked him, "Why are we going after Schaeffer Cox? If I'd just spent 4 hours telling Fulton my plans to murder a bunch of people, Fulton wouldn't have to ask why the FBI was going after me. But it makes perfect sense for Fulton to ask, why are we going after Schaeffer Cox, if he just got back from making an aggressive sales pitch for violent crime, which confused me, freaked me out, and scared me off. That's exactly what happened, and all the evidence proves it. Fulton sort of captures the essence of this whole case in the way that he threatened to sue the movie producer for defamation if he deviated from the official lies on the official court record and made Fulton look bad. Rather than deal with reality, Fulton and the FBI create their own little world of make-believe in the courtroom where the judge won't let in any documents, testimony, or recordings that could expose their farce. The easiest way to spot a lie is to hold it up next to the truth. That's why the CMU is trying to stop me from talking to the filmmaker, and why Fulton's threatening to sue him, and why the feds hate Rudy's YouTubes. This globalist-run government is horrified of the real and genuine opposition leaders like me. They want to be in full control of both sides of any political conflict, and they can't tolerate any organic opposition whatsoever. When I came into my own as a voice for liberty and freedom, they simply came in and replaced me with their asset, Aaron Bennett. They demonized me, spread rumors, had Bennett rob the Second Amendment Task Force T-shirt money, and blame it on me, caused a bunch of fear and paranoia, then took me out. Bennett took over my radio shows, ran for office, and was installed as the new point man for the libertarian dissent. He buddied up to my old friends and put the FBI back on top. What the CIA perfected in the Banana Republic of Central America, the FBI is now doing in small-town USA. Most people can't put their finger on it, but they sense that everything is somehow fake. Well, folks, most everything is fake. But I'm not fake, and that was really my only crime. Schaeffer Cox. Page 6. I'm really disheartened by Maria's continued deceit. In the public notice, she really added to the confusion, which is what she'd do if she's stealing money and trying to cover her tracks. I've about run out of patience, but I wanted to give her every opportunity to come clean and do right. She's convinced me she won't do that. Alaskans for Liberty Incorporated is a tax delinquent 501c4 out of Wyoming. Eberly Incorporated told me that their records showed Alaskans for Liberty, no incorporated, is a private trust. AFL was described by the board as an unincorporated general partnership. I don't care what it is or isn't. I don't want anything to do with any of it. But all this shell gaming is one of the hallmarks of fraud. Maria could announce that she resigned from the board of AFL, the 501c4, but leave out the fact that she's still the trustee of AFL, the trust. But none of this matters. All that matters is this. The donators donated money to me to use for my legal defense. I didn't give control of that money to anyone else. So whoever has control of it isn't supposed to. The other piece of tricky deceit from Maria is where she says AFL is pleased that its efforts led to hard copy letters being mailed to hundreds of thousands of households across the country, creating awareness of Schaeffer's wrongful convictions. This is written in a way that gets the reader to presume that AFL spent all the donated money on sending letters to households across the country. And in fact, that's exactly the wrong conclusion Doug Wu was led to by it. I don't know who Doug Wu is. Maybe you guys know who Doug Wu is. And in fact, that's exactly the wrong conclusion Doug Wu was led to by it. AFL did not send any letters out. I worked directly with the direct mail company guy named Ryan. I wrote the letters asking for donations, and the direct mail company fronted all the money to send them out. When donations came back, the direct mail company was paid for printing, folding, and postage. Then the rest of the money was supposed to go to me to fight my case. It's the money that Maria and her secret board took without permission and leaving me high and dry. Maria can't come out and explain herself, which can only mean whatever she did is pretty bad. All we've gotten is lies or silence from her. I think you all need to press Richard Neff for some answers. Maybe he'll do right where Maria won't. Richard Neff, r.neff@gci.net. And his phone number is 907-388-6802. Page 8. Pastor Drake was talking about getting a polygraph test done on me just before they cut off our communication. I'd still love to do that. I don't think they are formally admissible in court, but you can still refer to them, and I think it would be an excellent way to bring attention to the truth. How much does one cost, and who can we have set that up? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We should ask me if I was plotting to murder anyone, if the FBI set me up, if the prosecution lied at trial, etc. But we should also ask a handful of funny and or humanizing questions to make it relatable and interesting, such as, do you still love Marty? Are you a Russian agent? Have you ever blamed a fart? Have you ever blamed a fart on someone else? Do you like blondes or brunettes? Are you going to climb Mount Everest when you get out? Do you know bin Laden's right-hand man? Does he say 9/11 was an inside job? Are you a danger if you get let out? Do you love America? Would you go on a date with a she-cop if she was really pretty? Would you go on a date with a she-cop if she was really pretty? Have you been subjected to torture? Have they ever turned you into an informant? Is there any damning evidence of a murder plot out there that they didn't find? Could you forgive the people who did this to you? I don't know the answer to some of these. I'd be interested to see what the polygraph says. Would you feel safe to live in America right now? Were you to be released right now? Would you try to start a violent revolution, or would you try to shape cultural values and trends? Do you want to fall in love and have more kids and live a happy life that blesses other people, or do you just want revenge? Do you think everyone in government is evil? Do you think the government in general is evil? Are you mentally ill? Have you ever used drugs? Have you ever been drunk? Could you kill someone to protect your children? Do you believe in avoiding violence at all cost? Do you still believe that? Did you ever say you were going to light homes on fire and shoot children when they ran out? This deserves its own paragraph. I never said such an evil thing as that. I'd shoot children as they ran out of a house I'd set on fire. This has got to be some sort of sick ritual these FBI creeps get off on. Okay, the FBI sets a home on fire in Waco, Texas, then shoots the children who run out. We've all seen the video. They sure enough committed that sin, and ever since they've had this sort of guilty pride over it. Then the FBI kicks in the doors of Coleman's home at dawn on March the 10th after luring me and Coleman away to get shot like Lavoie at the takedown. So knowing that it's just pregnant Rachel and her 4 young kids and Marty and her toddler and infant, masked FBI with M4s and full riot gear storm in and throw down the mothers in front of their screaming, terrified children. Then the FBI agents start yelling that they'll shoot them like they did at Waco and Ruby Ridge. Then, because their plans get interrupted by the property owner and I ended up not dying, the FBI puts me on trial knowing full well I'm innocent and falsely accuses me of saying I'd like to do the thing the FBI actually did. Then they send me, the innocent, to suffer the punishment in prison for 27 years for the crime everyone knows as an objective fact they did. And I did not do. Got that? They did it. I did not. Known facts. Let's recap how they U-turned their own sins onto me. Court is church for people who worship themselves, and this is some sort of religious ceremony. 1. They set a home on fire and shoot kids as they run out. 2. Then they brag about it while attacking my wife and children. 3. Then they accuse me of thinking the thing they actually did in real life. 4. Then they give me the punishment they themselves deserve. Page 11. Some people have really come through for me, and I appreciate it. The following showed up on my commissary account, and I pray to God that I'm not breaking anybody's wishes by reading these names. I apologize in advance, but I'm going to read his letter uncensored to the best of my ability. B sent $50, Tremert 150, Barloga 50, Con 100, Cox 200, Syme 200, No Name 100, B 100. Also, I got a large check from Cullum that matched the letter he sent. Thank you so much for that. That covered my filing fees almost perfectly. One for a civil suit over the CMU, not letting me contact the filmmaker, and the other for my FOIA lawsuit. And just as I was writing this, a large check from Clark showed up on 4/16/17. Dave Rohner sent a money order for $50, but it got returned because he sent it here to the CMU, not to the Bureau of Prison Business Office in Des Moines, which is Francis Cox 16179-006, Federal Bureau of Prison, FBOP Lock-Box, P.O. Box 474701, Des Moines, Iowa 50947-0001. Page 12. This helps so much. Not only am I off grocery restriction and trying to keep my calorie intake at least 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day, I'm paying filing fees left and right and trying to save money to send an investigator to go get some key evidence I know about that will unravel this whole case. I'm so blessed and so grateful. I can see that we can win this battle. I know the future is full of hope for me and for all of us. Thank you for sending me money to fight with. Your support makes me bold. Love, Schaeffer Cox. And then he puts a P.S. Please try to figure out what Richard Neff could be thinking. The money he and Maria are holding hostage won't do me much good after my appeals are done. Why does he think he has the right to stop that money from going to its intended use? Nobody donated money to Richard, and I didn't give him control of it. Does he think he's helping me get out of prison by holding the money hostage and refusing to speak to me? Richard needs to explain himself. All right, that's the end of the letter. This is his mailing address right there. I pray you guys take time to write him a letter. Write him an encouraging letter. You know, he's been in prison 6 years. He's got a long time to go if God don't work a mighty miracle. Of course, we pray that God works a mighty miracle. And if you feel so inclined, if you feel so led, that is the address to write him or to send a money order for his commissary. You can also send him money to westernunion.com. And it appears that some folks are already sending him money to his commissary, and that's the address as well. It should match up with that address, right? P.O. Box 474701. Yeah, it does match up. So anyway, for you guys that are supporting Schaeffer financially, I never speak on behalf of Schaeffer. I am just simply one of his many advocates, but I am very grateful from the bottom of my heart. As you can see from Schaeffer's letter, he is grateful. We want him to get out of that prison. It will be a glorious day indeed if Schaeffer can beat this appeal, walk out of prison, and be reunited with his family, his children, his mother, his father, and just re-engage in freedom and liberty. And we can see what the Lord has in store for this man. And just imagine the day when Schaeffer walks out of that prison. What a beautiful and wonderful day that will be. God bless every one of you. Don't forget Schaeffer. Please write him a letter in prison. And please pray for all of our P3s, Patriot Political Prisoners. Keep them in your prayers at night when you're counting your own blessings. God bless every one of you and have a great day.